Hey guys, and welcome to my quest guide for the 2006 Members Quest in aid of the Myreque. So this is another Mauritania one, and to start the quest we'll be heading down into Berderot. To start the quest you will need to have completed everything up to In Search of the Myreque. Skills required: you will need 25 crafting, 7 magic and 15 mining. If you are an Iron Man you will need to have 30 mining and 30 smithing. Enemies to defeat: there is Gadaranks at level 58, 2 Vampire Juvenates at level 58 and 63, and either 4 Vampire Juvenates at level 60 or 2 Vampire Juvenates at level 68. Items required: there is a list on screen. I will go through them, or you can skip ahead a little bit if you just want to read them. So you need at least 1 piece of food, but I do suggest bringing multiple. 1 to 5 buckets. Anything with a star on it can be got later on in the shop, so you don't actually have to bring these. You'll need 11 regular planks, which again you can get later. Some swamp paste you can get later. 36 to 45 nails. You do get some of these during the quest, but not guaranteed to have enough. 10 bronze hatchets, either 10 raw mackerel or 10 raw snails. I would suggest getting them in the bank ready. 4 tinder boxes, 2 steel bars, a piece of coal, 1 mithril bar, a cut sapphire, 1 cosmic and 1 water rune, a rope and a silver weapon like a silver sickle. You can go ahead and shove most of this in the bank. I would just bring some food and then have armor and weapon on for protection if you are low level. So we're going to head down to the start of the quest. So go to Canifis and south of the pub, go through the trapdoor like we did in the previous quest. Head south through the fake wall, search the wall to go through, and then run a little bit more south and to the east, go into this little separate section. We need to enter the cave entrance, so click to squeeze past the stalagmites. Go ahead and speak to Veliaf Hertz. Go through his chat. Start with option 1, I want to join your organization. Then option 2, okay, tell me this information you have to impart. Then option 1, can you tell me about the job? And then click to accept the quest. And finally option 1 again. Okay, I'll do the job. So next we're going to be heading down to Morton. So if you head out of this room, back through the way we came, into the cave entrance just to the south here, and head south when you get back in this room, and go through the southernmost door. It's kind of on the northern wall of the southern area. So head south here. You're going to be finding the boat that heads kind of all the way down. So we need to climb over the bridge and head down to this area where the little boat is. Another option to do, which I will be doing for the rest of the quest, is if you have defeated the Barrows brothers at least once, you can use the portal at the PVM hub at War's Retreat and head to the Barrows and then just go west from there. So this is the only time I'll be doing the boat route. So if you haven't got access to the portal, you'll have to just pause the video and head down each time I teleport down. It's only a couple of times, so it's not too much. So once you get to the boat, you'll end up in Morton. So head south over the bridge towards Berderot. When you get across this broken bridge, there will be a fence. You won't be able to go through just yet. So go stand near the fence and you'll need to speak to Florin. You don't need to choose any of the options when it comes up. Once you've spoke to him, search the chest that's just north of the gate and place a piece of food in it. If it doesn't do it automatically, just right click on your food and use it on the chest. There'll be a little cutscene where they will notice that you put some food for them. And when that's done, you can go ahead and jump over the gate. And then speak to Florin once again. So choose option 4. Are there any out of the way places in here? And then option 5, okay, thanks. Now here I missed a little bit of footage, so head north back into Morton and head to the general store. So the general store is the northernmost building in the centre. And when you get to the general store, go through the door and speak to Razmir, or right click and to trade with him. If you open the general store, he does have 2 different ones, and get 5 buckets for him. You can get 1, but it's easier if you just use 5, then you don't have to keep emptying them. He also has tinder boxes if you didn't get them already, and if you open his other store, he does have 2 when you right click on him. You can get, from the builder store, you can get swamp paste and planks when you need them later. But right now, just take your buckets and head back down into Burdurot. Just jump over the fence and we can continue on. Next, you need to head to the pub, which is just the building to the southeast of where you stood. If you go along the southern wall and enter through the gap, in the northwestern corner of this building, there is a broken down wall you can climb over, and there's a trap door. You'll need to clear the rubble first. You won't be able to go down the trapdoor yet, so mine the rubble and then click to go down the trapdoor. So when you get down here, there is a lot of rubble on the floor that needs clearing. So just go ahead and click to mine the rubble with your buckets in your inventory. It does take a little while. I won't fast forward it, but I won't talk through the whole thing, so I am going to be silent for a little bit. But once you have mined them, it will give you the option to remove the rubble, and it'll use a shovel to clear them up. You will pick up some random stuff like nails and broken glass from inside the rubble. The nails you can use for later if you didn't already buy some. Everything else you can just throw on the floor again, it's not needed. So mine through every piece of rubble on the floor, and once it's clear, we'll be back. So once the final piece of rubble is cleared, you can search the plaque on the northern wall. You will get a little cutscene to show you where it is, but it's quite difficult to see. So go ahead and click to search it. And then head back up the ladder and out of the pub. Climb over the broken down wall and then go ahead and speak to any of the villagers wandering around. You can empty your buckets if you want to keep them. You can empty them onto this rubble pile here, or you can just destroy them. So speak to any of the villagers and choose option 3. I'd like to help fix up the town. And then option 4, okay, thanks. And now we need to get some more supplies. So here you can head back to the bank in Canifis. Eventually we will have a bank here in Berdurot, but we have to fix it up first. So teleport back up to Canifis and head to the bank. So I'll put a list of everything on screen to bring. You can use a beast of burden, so you don't have to come back to the bank again later. And as I said, some of it can be bought in the shop if you don't want to bring it or haven't got it in the bank already. So you will need 11 planks, and normal planks, 10 bronze hatchets, 3 tinder boxes, 44 nails, 2 steel bars, 1 swamp paste, 1 coal, and either 10 raw mackerel or raw snails. If you don't want to bring these, you can fish them or catch them down there. But I suggest just bringing them, as long as you've got the space, just bring them. It's a lot easier. And the one you don't need, just throw away. So once you've got everything you need out of the bank, you can clear the rest away. Still bring some food and stuff just in case you need it for the fight. Make sure you've got your silver weapon. But there will be a bank down there soon, so if you don't want to bring that now or you can't, then that's fine. And then we're going to head back down to Berdurot. So you can either go south through the trapdoor and through the swamp via the boat like we did earlier, or you can use the PVM hub and teleport down to the barrows. So the next 8 minutes of footage actually lost, so I've come back on again and kind of re-recorded where to go just so I can talk you through it, but I won't be able to actually follow along the quest exactly. But once you've made your way back down to Morton, either through the boat or through the PVM hub to the barrows, you will end up in this area. So we're going to head back down to Berdurot. So over the bridge, if you've come from Barrows, and down across the bridge to the south. Once you get down here, keep going and jump over the gate to enter this town. And then head to the east and go into the general store. When you get into the general store, speak to Oral. Go through his chat and choose option 3, I want to help fix up the town. Then option 4, what should I do now? Once you've done that, you finish with his chat, head outside and up the ladder on the southern wall. When you get up on the roof, there'll be a hole, so use one of your planks on the hole on the roof. And it will use 3 planks and 12 nails. Once that's been repaired, climb back down the ladder and do the same with the hole on the southern wall. Use a plank on the broken wall to repair that. We'll use another 3 planks and 12 nails. Once you've done that, go back inside and speak to Oral once again. Go in and choose option 4, what should I do now? And then option 5, okay, thanks. After you've finished going through his chat, we're going to head to the bank next. So you can see it on the minimap just south of where the pub is, to the southwest of where you are now. So if you head over there and into the main room and speak to Cornelius. So Cornelius will be on the eastern side for you because you've not completed it yet. So speak to him and choose option 4, what should I do now? And then option 5, okay, thanks. So now we need to fix the bank just like we did the general store. So first you need to use 2 planks on the bank booth. It's this one that you can see that is repaired on mine, not the northern one. That I used 2 planks, 1 swamp paste and 8 nails. And then you'll need to go outside to the western side of the building to fix the hole here. So use a plank on the hole in the wall and it will use 3 planks and 12 nails. Once you've done that, go back inside and speak to Cornelius once again. So when you get in, speak to Cornelius and start with option 4, what should I do now? And then go through his chat and choose option 3, do you fancy the job? Once you've done that, he will take the job of bank teller and you'll have access to your bank while in Bergerot, and that will stay there permanently. So next you need to go back up and speak to any villager once again. Anyone who's walking around will do, doesn't have to be a specific one. So speak to him, choose option 4, what should I do now? And then option 5, okay, thanks. Just the same as we've done before. Now we're going to head to the furnace. So the furnace is in the southeastern corner of the town. So head down there, it's just east from the bank. So go in and use 2 steel bars and a piece of coal on the unlit furnace and that will repair it. And then once you've done that, right click and choose the search function to light the furnace. And then that, once again, you'll have access to permanently. So next we are going to be fighting. So if you haven't got any armor or weapons or anything on you, or food, if you are low level, then go to the bank and get them now. You can get them out in the bank you've just repaired. Make sure you have a silver weapon, like a silver sickle is easiest because there will be some vampires that can only be damaged by a silver melee weapon. But once you are prepared for the fight, if you're high level, it's not difficult at all. So once you've done that and you are ready, we're going to head back up to the general store, which we prepared earlier. Or repaired earlier, rather. And when you go in here, you will see Gadaranx in the general store. So go in and speak to him and go through his chat. Obviously, you won't be able to see it on my screen because I lost this part of the footage. Once you've spoke to him and gone through his chat, speak to everyone else in the general store except Oral. Once you've gone through all the chat, if it takes a little bit longer than I've left here, then just pause the video until you've spoke to everyone. But once you've done that, next you will need to kill Gadaranx and the vampires. So kill Gadaranx, you can use any style. It does say on the wiki to use magic, but any style is easy. And once they're done, switch to your silver melee weapon and kill the vampires as well. It should be pretty quick and straightforward unless you are a very low level. But once they are all dead, you'll be able to speak to Gadaranx once again. So speak to Gadaranx and go through his chat, and then when you've finished speaking to him, you will see Valiaf Hertz is also in the room, so speak to him after that. So after you've finished all this, teleport back to Canifis. If you haven't caught up, if you haven't finished all the chats, just pause it until you've done and then you can teleport up and follow along again. This is the footage from actually doing the quest now, so you'll be able to follow along with me a little bit easier right now. Apologies for losing the footage, but I had 2 instances open and it recorded the wrong one. So we're going to head south of the pub and go through the trapdoor again. And go south through the wall. And we're going to go back into the hideout where we went through this eastern wall, squeeze past the stalagmites, and speak to Valef Hertz. Go through his chat and choose option 5. Okay, thanks. And then next you need to dismiss your follower if you do have one. And then we need to speak to the other 3 in the room. So dismiss your familiar if you've got one from earlier. I still had a beast of burden from carrying all the items. And then go ahead and speak to Paul Maffey. And the 3 of them are in the room. Paul Maffey is usually in the middle on the eastern wall. Go through his chat. Once you've done that, go south and speak to Radigad. And go through his chat. And then speak to Ivan in the northeast. Now you'll be doing a little version of temple trekking. You can either choose route 1 or route 2. Route 1 is generally easier. And the shorter route, you will have to kill 2 level 68 vampires. So you end up here, equip your silver weapon, and just kill them. If you are a low level, you just need to make sure that they don't attack Ivan. And once they're dead, you'll be able to continue. Once you get up there, you'll end up outside the mausoleum to the west of Canifis. Finish the chat with Ivan and then enter the temple to the west. Go through the door into the mausoleum. When you get inside, go and speak to Drezel, just to the north of the doorway. So go through the chat. Start with option 2. I found out some things about Efarete. Then option 1. Valaf told me about Ivandis. Then option 4. Is there somewhere I might get more information about Ivandis? And then option 3, the lives of those pitiful few left in Mauritania could rest on this. After that, you'll get a key, and we're going to head through the wall on the eastern side of this little room. You will see a keyhole. If you can't see it, just turn your camera around a little bit. It's between the bookshelves. So use the key on the keyhole, and it will open a trapdoor in the floor. Head down into the trapdoor. And go to the western side of the room if you turn your camera around, because you should be facing south when you go in. Go over to the west, and the westernmost bookcase that you can choose, there's nothing on the wall there. Search that and you'll get a book. Quickly read through the book, just skip through the pages. And then head back to the Canifis lodestone. You can run back to the Canifis bank if you want, but the lodestone is faster. So for this section, you are going to need a rope, a water rune, a cosmic rune, a piece of soft clay, a cut sapphire, a silver bar, and a mithril bar. The bars can be in the metal bank if you haven't got space, but you should be able to fit it all in your inventory. Then once you've got everything out of the bank, we're going to head south of the pub and through the trap door again. Go south through the wall. And then instead of going south, there are some boards just on the eastern wall. As you get through, you can see it just east of that rat. So don't run all the way south. Click on the boards to cut your way through them, and then go through the cave entrance. You'll be in a little area. Head south and then into the eastern room, and you will see a tomb. And then all you need to do when you get in there is to use a piece of soft clay on the tomb to create a rod clay mold. Make sure you right click, not left click. Then you can add the rod clay mold to the tool belt. Just right click and add to tool belt. Then we need to head it to a furnace. So any furnace will do, there's not a specific one. I tend to use Lumbridge just because it's right near the lodestone. So once you get to a furnace, go ahead and use the furnace, and we are going to build a Silvthrill rod. So click smelt at the furnace and go down to the silver bar on the left hand side. Click on that and you will see the Silvthrill rod. Once you've done that, go to your magic spellbook and use a level 1 enchant on the Silvthrill rod. And then we're going to head back to the mausoleum where Drezel was. So head back to Canifis. And then run all the way west and back into the mausoleum. Once you get down here, we're going to go west through the gate into the center room, and you need to go to the well in the center. Make sure you've got the rope in your inventory, and then you can just use the rod on the well in the center to drop it down and pull it back up again. Once you've got that, then you will need to head back to Burdurot. So either head back to Canifis, go through the trapdoor south and take the boat, or like I did, go to the PVM hub and enter the Barrows Brothers portal. Head west over the bridge and then south back to Burdurot. Once you get down here, jump over the gate and we're going to head back into the pub. Jump over the broken down wall and go down the trapdoor. Once you get down here, there are people here now, so you can go and speak to Velaf Hertz. Go through his chat, choose option 1, I have brought you the Rod of Ivandis. And then option 1 again, yes, I've come to give you the Rod of Ivandis. And that will give you quest complete. So for completing this quest, you will get 2 quest points, 2000 XP in attack, strength, crafting and defense, access to Burdurot and the temple trekking minigame, the ability to use a gather hammer, which is strong against shades. You get the ability to make and use the Rod of Ivandis, as well as Gothic's balance potions. And if you speak to Historian Minus, you will get 5 kudos in the Varrock Museum, as well as 2 treasure hunter keys. So that's quest complete and well done.